IFK Goteborg are a professional football club based in Gothenburg, Sweden. The club was founded in 1904 and is one of the most successful clubs in Swedish football history, having won numerous domestic and international championship titles. The club's early years were marked by rapid growth and success, with Goteborg winning their first Swedish championship just 4 years after their formation in 1908. The team have continued to dominate Swedish football for the past century. In the 1970s and 1980s, the team enjoyed one of its most successful periods, including a spell under manager Sven-Göran Eriksson. Goteborg won a total of 18 major trophies, including winning the UEFA Cup twice in 1982 and 1987, the only Scandinavian side to win a European trophy. Welcome back to the channel, it's Andy, and this is our brand new series with IFK Goteborg. I haven't played Football Manager in quite a while, and it was about time we stuck into a new save. And now that the winter update is out, we can get started with it. I've been waiting a while, it's finally here, so we're going to kick the save off today. Hopefully you're looking forward to the new series. If you are, drop a like on the video, leave comments, subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new, turn notifications on. I'm going to aim for 3 videos a week. Usually Sundays, Wednesdays, Fridays is what I aim for. I'll try to keep to that, but we'll have to wait and see. I do have a second channel as well where we're uploading some other video games. We've just started Dead Space over there, the remake that came out last month. So if you do want to see some other games, then go over there and check things out. But hopefully you'll enjoy what you're seeing here. So we just heard a little bit about the club. They're one of the most successful sides in the Nordic region, the only Nordic side to win a European trophy with their 2 UEFA Cup wins, but no Nordic side's ever won the Champions League. That's the goal for the save. We're going to win the Champions League with a Nordic side, and we've chosen Goteborg. We play at the Gamla Ullevi Stadium, 18,400 capacity. It's a fairly new stadium, built in 2009. We've got some good training facilities, above average youth recruitment, which I'm sure we can improve over time. Finance wise, we're not looking too bad. We have a transfer budget of £600,000 and a wage budget of just under 59k a week. We are playing on the winter update, so the most recent transfers are up to date, and we're playing at the start of the 2023 season, so we started the game in January 2023, so the 2022 season has just passed, where Goteborg finished in 8th place. Media prediction is 5th place. We'll attempt to get them back into Europe at the first time of asking, but we'll see how things go. This is our best 11. It's a 4-4-2. We'll have a good look at the squad in a little bit, so we can have a look at what our best team is, maybe see if this system works, maybe find out a new tactic. We'll have a look around and see what we can make up. Let's have a look at the club vision and our objectives for the early stages of the save. This is probably going to last until the end of FM23 or until we win the Champions League, whichever comes first. Hopefully we can win the Champions League. I don't do it very often, and I'd like to actually end one of these with a big trophy like that, but we'll see. So the board are expecting a top half finish in our first season. And I think it's a 16-team league, if I remember. They do want us to start challenging for the title fairly soon, though, like really work towards it. And they're giving us until the end of 2025 to try and challenge for the Premier Division title. So they're giving us essentially 3 years to mount a title challenge and then win it in 5 years. I think that's doable. I think that's definitely doable. We'll give it a go. The only supporter culture is developing players using the youth system, so they're not really expecting us to play any style of football. We can just, you know, play what we want to play, really. You know, it depends on the players we have, but actually not a lot of restrictions at all in terms of like a club vision. I like that. We have some rivals, so we'll have to try and get the better of those. Orgreit and Gais are local rivals. AIK are quite competitive rivals, as are Malmo and Djurgårdens, so hopefully we can get the better of those sides as well. So you can see that the most recent season has been played out in the winter update, with Harkin winning their first title and Djurgårdens and Hammarby, the Stockholm sides, getting 2nd and 3rd place and getting into Europe for themselves. We can see Sweden in the coefficients are down in 22nd place. So we do actually get 4 sides in Europe. We get 1 side that goes into the Champions League, the champions go into Champions League qualifying, and then we've got 3 sides that go into the qualifying for the Europa Conference League. So 4 potential spots in Europe. Getting into Europe first time of asking is doable, but it's going to be difficult. We'll try. We'll give it a shot. I'm not planning on turning this into a building a nation, because it's a very long-term save, which results in you know, loaning your players to other sides in the nation and really progress in the Swedish league. This save's not going to be long enough for that, but I'll try and put elements of that into it so that we can hopefully rise up the ranks and, you know, start getting some more Swedish sides into Europe. And what would be really nice is if we weren't the only side in the Nordic regions to win a European trophy. If we do it, we may well move to another country and do it again with another side. We could go to Norway and do the same thing there. Depends how long this takes. So Goteborg, as you can see, haven't won the Allsvenskan since 2007, so haven't won a title in quite a while. Had a bit of a lull, and as I say, not been as big as they were in the 70s and 80s under Eriksson and getting their UEFA Cup wins, but still very much one of the best sides in the country. We're here to look at the squad, so let's do that. Let's have a look at the squad and see what we have to offer. So 4-4-2 was what was suggested to us. And it doesn't look like we have any right-sided players, so that's not a good start. But let's go through the squad and let's see what these guys look like, shall we? So we have two goalkeepers. The backup is Adam Ingi Benediktsson. He's 20 years old. He's from Iceland, and you know, he's only 20. I think he'd be a decent sort of understudy. We'll see how he does. You know, we've got pre-season to play, so we'll give him some games to see how he does. But maybe getting a more experienced backup would be good, so that might be a place to start. But again, we don't have a great deal of money. What do we have? 600k, £600,000 transfer budget, available wage budget. We only have 2,000 a week. What's our highest earner on? Our highest earner is on just over 3k a week. So that, you know, that might be enough to get us like 2 or 3 players, depending on how much they want in terms of contract. So, you know, we'll see how things go there. Our starting goalkeeper, Pontus Dahlberg, 23 years old, has got a couple of caps for the Swedish national team. Fairly new signing as well. He's played 4 games. He looks good enough. He's 6'4". He's got good aerial reach, good reflexes, decent one-on-one. Tendency to rush out might not be a good thing. But, you know, he looks like a perfectly capable goalkeeper. We won't know how good he really is until he plays. So he looks fine on paper. We'll just see how he does, I guess. But maybe getting a more experienced backup wouldn't be a bad idea. Someone that's, you know, got a few miles under their belt, maybe. Let's look at the back line then. We have a few right backs. Emil Salomonsson, 33 years old. He doesn't look too bad. He's a squad player. He's probably past his prime, but doesn't look too bad. You know, pace-wise, he's not slow, but he's not especially quick either. He just looks like a decent right back. But that, you know, I don't imagine he can get forward. Like his crossing's not too bad, so I feel like he could do a job. 33, but still decent. Sebastian Olsen, a leader. He's 29 and he's about the same level. So we've got 2 right backs there that I think are, you know, pretty evenly matched and kind of attack minded as well. I quite like that. And he can also play right wing back as well. So, you know, wing back formation with 3 centre backs could be an option. Salomonson's not as prominent as a wing back, but we'll see how he does. Felix Eriksson, 18 years old, is our hot prospect. Got a bit of work to do at 18, but we'll keep an eye on him, see how he does. Maybe a loan for him, because he doesn't look like he could do it for us right now, but maybe he can get some minutes for a side maybe in the tier below. We'll have to wait and see what we can do with him. We'll look at centre-backs in a second. Let's go over to the left-hand side. We've got a wing-back here, Oscar Wendt, 37 years old. He hasn't got much pace anymore, only 10 pace, but again, his crossing's not horrible. And he's a player, you know, another squad player. He's not been here for too long, but 37 years old. It's his last year of his deal. Like, he's probably going to go after this if he doesn't retire. But, you know, we can use him this season. Anders Tronsen, Norwegian, 27. Again, he's got 9 pace. Like, these guys aren't especially quick. He's got good crossing, though. Good passer of the ball as well. Looks decent. His physicals let him down, though. Then we have an Iraqi, Ali Hussein Gassem, 19 years old. Again, bit of potential. But again, I don't think he's quite good enough to be playing like in and out for us. Again, maybe a loan move for him. Getting some minutes somewhere else. Let's look at centre-backs then. Sebastian Hausner is 22. He's Danish. He's, you know, got decent speed. Not great in the air. Jumping reach is good, but heading at 9 isn't really great. Marking and tackling 13 and 14, not too bad. He's aggressive though, he's brave, so mentally not too bad, but technically could be a bit better. Kalle Johansson, who's on loan at Randers, which is the Danish side. He looks good. Why is he out on loan? Like, he's got good jumping reach, he's strong, he's good in the air, he's got bravery, aggression. Why is he on loan? Like, he's actually a good player. That's a bit baffling that we've sent that guy out on loan, although Johan Bungsbo actually looks pretty good. He's got good potential. He's 19. He looks like he could be a player. So I think we've only got 2 centre-backs there. We definitely need at least another centre-back. And we're definitely not playing a black back 3 if we only have 2 central defenders. But Johan Bungsbo, actually looks pretty good, and he's only 19. Plenty of room to grow for him. So let's go a bit further up the pitch. We've got Gustav Svensson, 35-year-old defensive midfielder. Looks, you know, pretty good. Again, you know, speed's not going to be great at 35, but he's an experienced man. He's got 32 caps for Sweden. Marking's good, tackling's good. So he can sit ahead of that defensive line and hopefully sweep things up. Like anchorman could be an option. He looks like he could be a pretty good anchorman, actually, because he won't have to do much movement. He can just sit in front of that back line and really help him out. That looks like it could be an option. Centre mids, we do have a few options here, but this does look like we've got quite a good mix of like age and youth. We've got, you know, some players here in their sort of teens and 20s, and then some players in their 30s. So it looks like a decent mix of like experience and young talent. Let's look at Eriksson. He's 33 years old. Sebastian Eriksson. Ball winner midfielder possibility. Centre mid, box to box. Box to box is always good, but finishing's not good, not great with the ball. So, you know, ball winner for him maybe. I think we do need to be quite defensively solid. I think that's been quite common of like a Nordic side like Goteborg. They are quite defensively solid. So I don't want to set back too much, but you know, let's make sure that we're keeping the ball out of our net first of it. Elias Hagen looks good though. He looks very good. He's 22. He's from Norway. Very determined. Teamwork's good. Passing's not too bad. Again, he looks very well-rounded, very decent, and he is a bit more attack-minded. So possible advanced playmaker for him. Centre mid on attack. I wonder how good that is this year. His tackling is not great, but hopefully he won't have much tackling to do. But yeah, he's going to be a much more creative player, definitely. Simon Turn, 30 years old. Again, a bit more of a playmaker type. Again, very well rounded, not bad passing. 12s and 13s seem to be sort of par for the course, but you know, hopefully we can get some players that are, you know, a little bit better than that, but they're going to cost money. So we're really going to have to start developing players ourselves pretty pronto. We've also got Adam Carlen, 22 years old, another homegrown player, which is nice. Not especially quick. And again, a bit more defense-minded, but he doesn't look as good. That's someone that we maybe look to move on. I'm not quite sure. Although he's a very new signing. He literally signs in the most recent window on a free from Degerford. So, you know, I feel like we might have to play him, or he's just going to be very upset. But he doesn't look awful. Amir Al Amari, another Iraqi. We've got a couple of Iraqis, which is interesting. He is on loan at Holmstad's. Advanced playmaker. Again, pretty well rounded, but not quite at the level of our other two players. And we have a lot of centre mids in this team. Why do we have so many? Philip Ambrose. I might be butchering some pronunciations there. If you are watching this and you are Swedish, please do feel free to correct me if I do anything wrong. Ambrose is 19. Got some decent bits in there. First touch and passing will only grow over time. Physicals as well. So, you know, he doesn't look especially bad, but again, loan might be good for him. And the last midfielder, Abundance Salau, Ivorian, 18. Again, not especially good physically, apart from the natural fitness, which doesn't really mean too much, I don't think. Again, good potential, but probably not someone that can play a bunch of minutes for us right now. But I love the name. Name's amazing. So a bit further up the pitch, we have 3 players for the left-hand side, and we have 3 centre forwards. So let's look at these guys. Eman Markovic, Norwegian, for the left. Not as physical as I'd like, not as athletic as I'd like. These players seem... I don't know if this is good for Goteborg. It looks like it is, but 12s, I feel like we can be doing better and getting some 13s, some 14s. We'll see though. Gustav Norlin, also for the left-hand side. These guys are all natural on that left-hand side, but they can play on the right if they need to. But if we can get a natural right-sided player, that would be good. Norlin is a bit more athletic, 14 pace and 13 acceleration. Technically, 11s just aren't really going to cut it. That's not really good enough. Set pieces are not awful either. These players just look like they're just falling short of the mark. So that's a bit disappointing. Hussein Karneh, Swedish guy with Afghan nationality as well. That's an interesting combination. Good carrier of the ball, good first touch, and flair as well. But again, athletically, just not quite there. It seems to be the thing with a lot of these players is that don't seem quite at the level that I want them to be. And then we've got 3 centre forwards. Marcus Berg, 36 years old. Star player, 23 goals in 44 appearances in the league. So he's been doing very good for them, very well. And yeah, he looks like a very a decent striker. 36 years old, 90 caps for Sweden, 24 goals. He is our highest earner, £3,200 a week, and he doesn't look like our striker. You know, he's 36, so he's not getting any younger. He's on the last year of his deal, so I think replacing him might be one of our ports of call in the transfer window as well. And then our other two centre forwards, Suleiman Abdullahi, Nigerian, 26, very brave, very aggressive, athletically. This is what I want to see from our other players. This is about what I'd expect these guys to be. 15 pace, strength, acceleration's not too bad, but 12 finishing is not quite there for me. He is definitely a pressing forward. Definitely a pressing forward. And lastly, an intelligent striker, Linus Karlstrand, 18 years old, bit of potential, but again, not quite good enough to be playing, you know, a bunch of minutes right now. So we've got some decent youngsters here that are like 18, 19 years old. Not quite ready for us just yet, but they're getting there. Carne seems to be, you know, pretty decent, as does Bungsbo. So some decent prospects here. But I feel like a lot of these players are just falling short of where I want them to be. So we'll see how they do. This first season, you know, we're just going to try and get to know the squad. Maybe make some additions and work out who we can keep, who we can make use of, and who's not quite going to do it for us. No first team candidates in our development centre. Any decent reserve players? Melvin Berg, 18-year-old midfielder, completely on the right-hand side as well. Physically not too bad. And then under 19s, Linus Dahlgren, we've got a young goalkeeper, but that's about it. So not much to shout out in our youth and our reserve teams. I mean, a 4-4-2 would be good if we actually had wingers, and we don't really have wingers. Like, the only wide men we have really are Markovic, Norlin and Carne, and they're all natural left attacking midfielders. Like, this guy on that right hand side isn't bad, but they're not natural there. I know, we'll have to work things out and see what we can play. I definitely think two strikers, because we have two good centre forwards. I think we can make use of them, and we have a plethora of options in midfield as well. So I think at least three midfielders, definitely. Yeah, I don't really know how we're going to do this, but you know, we'll think about it and we'll try and work out a tactic we can play. But I think we'll leave it there for today. So I'm going to get through pre-season off camera. The league season doesn't start until April. So we might do one of those cup games just to see what the team looks like. Played, we'll have a bit of match fitness and hopefully we'll have a tactic by then. And then after that, I think we'll jump ahead to Sirius and start the league season for real. Because it's in April. It's still like 2.5 months away. So yeah, I think we'll do one of those cup games next. Try and get through that group. And then we'll come back for the league start after that. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave comments and subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new, turn notifications on. And yes, next time we'll have a real look at these guys, see what sort of system we can set up for them. I don't think we'll bring any players in this window. I think that'll probably be a bit later in the summertime maybe. Yeah, we'll get to grips with getting to know this side. But that's going to do it for today. Hopefully we're excited for a new adventure in Sweden. It's our first save on the channel in Scandinavia, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.